Wayfinders, welcome to episode 390 of Lured Up, a podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today's Thursday, April 9th, 2026. This episode streaming live on a bunch of platforms, including X, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm your host, Ken Pescatore, joined by two people today, my co-host, Adam Tuttle, and our special guest, Ashlee the Artist. Yay! I got to do the Kermit thing. Yay! So we're really excited to have Ashlee on. Ashlee is the first in a series of guests that we're going to be doing as part of a Road to Go Fest thing, where we're bringing a bunch of guests on to talk about their content, talk about the game, and just get to know some new peeps. Yeah, we got Andy Ace in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's here in the chat already. Stacy P is here. Nick is here. Yeah, we got Scipio's here. And Andy, it's good to see you, man. Really good to see you. I love having people here in the chat early. We really appreciate all of you. So Adam's internet has been horrible, so we're fingers crossed right now that Adam's gonna make it through this stream. We hope everything will work out okay. Anyway, let's start. Ashley, welcome to the show. How are you? What's going on? Before we jump into the details, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from. And we'll get to know you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Ashlee in game and online. I'm Ashlee the Artist. I'm from Connecticut, and I make short form, long form content around Pokemon Go, Wayfarer, and kind of exploring. So it all goes hand in hand. Do museums and like aquariums and libraries and like all those kind of places together. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We kind of really push for the IRL experience and using the game as kind of this catalyst for exploration and ultimately, real life experiences. We make jokes and say sometimes like, the best parts of this game happen off the screen, right? That's kind of the magic of it. So when I first saw your content and, I remember seeing some kind of video you did at some point about Wayfarer, and I immediately forwarded to the Wayspotters guys. I was like, yo, we got another person talking about Wayfarer. Let's go. It's always exciting which
is unusual, and it's nice to see that niche being I don't know, pushed.
Well, it's the core of the game. Like, people don't realize like how important and how necessary it is, and a lot of people will just kind of take a back seat to the process.
Backbone that the game is built.
So you could either just enjoy the fruits of everyone else's labor, or you can kind of to get involved and be a proactive, take a proactive approach to it. So, Ashlee, you're from the Northeast, so we got 3 Northeasterners here, which is great. I did spend some time in Connecticut when I was playing in the bands back in the day.
Okay.
I used to be in Connecticut all the time, going up that way.
I just did a lot of TCG stuff, playing in league challenges, league cups, cities, states.
You went to regionals when they were down here? In Hartford?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I was there. 2023?
Yeah. I think that was the year.
I was there.
Back in WW2, I used to go to regionals in Connecticut. But Ashlee, so I guess we can kind of start at the top. What team are you on? That's always a great identifier because
Mystic.
Oh my god! So we've got the gamut. I'm Valor. You're Mystic. Adam is eating glue in the corner on Instinct. But it's all
you gotta be Team Instinct, and you have to like Delibird.
That's a cool one.
No, you don't have to be.
Dratini.
There you go,
yes.
Dratini.
I just saw. I don't know if you know this. There's a Indonesian KFC promo. I just saw it today, and I'm like, "What the heck? I've never seen this."
With Dratini?
With Dratini, and it's in English, but it's Indonesian.
That's interesting.
I gotta see this.
That's amazing. And so Dratini's Dratini's the favorite Pokemon. That's always important too. You can kind of tell a lot about a person based on on their favorite Pokemon. We got Stacy P in the chat saying like, yes, a fellow Wayfarer. She says she does too much Wayfarer. It's impossible, Stacy. I appreciate all your stops. And Scott here in the chat saying, go Team Valor. Hell yeah. That's right. Team Valor is the best. So let's start back at the beginning. How long have you been into Pokemon? How'd you get into Pokemon? And, kind of where does the franchise itself kind of position itself in your life? Has Pokemon been a part of your life for a long time, or is this kind of thing something that paired with the content and that journey, or is this kind of second nature to you at this point?
So I started Pokemon Go when it was kind of that hype, like it first came out. Like everyone was so excited about it, and I'm a like early player. I'm 7/7/16, so
Nice.
I was like downloaded it, and it was a lot of fun. Like obviously the early stages of the game were a lot different than it is now, and it didn't have as many features, but it was still exciting. Everyone was like getting together, and I remember like walking distances I hadn't done to play the game, and like late night, hanging out. So yeah, definitely started playing then. I liked Pokemon. I didn't really play too many of the main series games, surprisingly. So there's like a lot of context sometimes that like I'll be like, I don't know what they're like referring to, but Pokemon Go itself, like I don't know, I started playing for years, and the content just kind of like evolved because I've always done like photography and videography myself. So I was like, well, these are two things I really love to do. Why wouldn't I make content on things I like to play and talk about? So it
Yeah.
kind of started like that back then. Very low scale back then, but kind of evolved as the years developed and I did more video and photo. So
No, that's awesome. I mean, it's always interesting to hear people that like get into the Pokemon franchise around Go.
yeah.
I'm an old fogey, right? So I mean, I was a grown ass man when Pokemon came to the States. So it's like but I was a day one Pokemon fan. So it's like I've been completely plugged into this franchise for a long time. But we do have plenty of friends who are like, look, the first experience I ever had with Pokemon is Pokemon Go. And so it's like when new Pokemon come out or a new generation's released, like it's truly new to them. That's like,
Yeah.
I can't experience that. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's got to be like the coolest thing, because it's like starting over every time there's something new, or even like Earthworm coming out. It's like, it's like, who? It's like
it's a wiggly worm.
It's like no experience with it. And that's super cool. But no, that's awesome. Day one players, we always give a lot of props to, not only because that's 10 years, literally 10 years ago at this point, but also because, that it's this game, and the strength of this game has a lot to do with the core people from the beginning still continuing to play and then becoming advocates and promoting and talking to people and telling people about the game. So it's always good when you get a day one player in front of you. That's super, super cool. But you said you're into photography, videography. So what was it about?
Yeah, you were Ashlee the Artist.
I always say Ashlee the Artist.
Yeah,
I think come from.
So it's actually kind of funny. So when I was younger, my original username and everything was Ashlee the Banana, and I'm like, I can't have this. This is so weird. It was like back when the internet like first existed, and you picked whatever name. And then I started like I was drawing a lot. Like I'm by no means a good drawer, but I just was like Ashlee the Artist. The A's sound good. And now people ask me, they're like, are you an artist? And I'm like, I just like make the joke. I'm like, just a con artist. Like I'm not a real artist. Like I just make the joke. Like I just had the name, and I left it. And a lot of people, like when they nickname their Pokemon, it's just ATA, Ashlee the Artist, if they're saving something for me. So
Nice.
just kind of like ran with it,
No, I love that. I love that. It's what I've learned talking to all the different creators is if it's not actually Pokemon content, there was still some kind of creative form of outlet for them, creative outlet.
Yeah.
Whether it's, I make art or I paint or I do something. There's always something involved with creation, which is always great because, we love creative people. It's all about creative people, and surrounding yourself with those kind of people puts you in a creative vibe, and that's always a good, definitely a good thing. But what about Pokemon Go made you say like, hey, maybe I should get in front of a camera? Because that's usually there's two types of content. You've got like the faceless content where you might just do a screen recording or photo content, things like that, and then you have confessional style content where you're looking at the camera, and talking and explaining and educating. And that's one of the things that drew me to your content is, on top of it being just entertaining, you're almost every video or short form that I've seen has a mission of teaching something. And that ability to share information in a short form but still package it in Pokemon is very appealing, because it's like, hey, I want to learn and I want to get better and I want to do more things, but I don't want to be bored. I don't want to read a textbook. So when you get like the the vibe of Pokemon is kind of the packaging around that education. It's always exciting. So, what was it about Go that made you want to get in front of the camera and, you know, outside, you know, kind of reverse things from looking at a screen to looking at a camera?
Yeah, so like I've always been like really comfortable in front of the camera, and I've always made like little vlogs like when I would go. Like my YouTube channel is like super old, so like at the beginning it was like little unboxing videos and like things. So I've always like wanted to make like content. And then with Pokemon, it was just so natural to wanna, like I said, like kind of talk about it. Like I remember one of my oldest videos was like Vanillite and how to get Ditto and like every like little thing that was like so exciting, and then like trying to get it out first, like, you know, like at the beginning when people are still excited about it. Now I kind of talk a lot more, you know, as you know, about Wayfarer, because that's like a really integrated part of like my lifestyle, I guess, now playing the game. So like you go to a gym, somebody made that, that's a real thing you can look at.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like it's outside of the game. So like I love bringing that to people. Like this is what it's like to play here, because this might not be the same. Somebody can play this game somewhere else. Like, you know, there's people who have rural areas or live in cities, like can never do a showcase. Like gameplay is just like different for everyone.
Yeah,
So.
well, that's the excitement of Wayfarer, is you can build it in your own vision, and you know, once people realize, like, that first time you get a Pokestop to go live, that's like one of the best feelings in the game, and you just is like incredibly
the
empowered.
Moose. Do we remember the moose?
The moose. Adam had this like wooden moose, and it's just like he would always talk about it. It's like, dude, that's the perfect Pokestop. Like, it's like a sculpture, like giant moose. I go, and then didn't you have an Ingress player help you or something like that? This is back in the day.
Yeah, because Pokemon, you couldn't do it through Pokemon. You had to do it through Ingress.
Yeah, so I'm an old school guy, so I mean I was playing Ingress specifically for Operation Portal Recon, just to be able to nominate and do all that stuff back in the day. And then, you know, meeting Jamal and Glaw from Wayspotters and all them, these are Ingress guys. So it's like, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I barely played Ingress. It was literally just to get to level 8 so I could start nominating stuff and put stuff in the game. And yeah, the Wayfarer portion of this game is one of the coolest things that it puts a different perspective on the game. And when you're especially when you're traveling to new places, and like when we have our meetups, you know, when we go to Chicago, when we go to different cities, you know, when we're walking around, it's like everyone is scouring everything, because everyone has the Wayfarer lens on. You know, it's just like, you know, we're looking at maps.
Seattle, we're going up and down the hills, and it's like we stop and see a restaurant. It's like, is that
like going in restaurants not to eat, just to see if they have murals like on the inside of the restaurant. It's like, it's a Mexican restaurant, there's definitely a mural in there. It's like, but yeah, no, that's a super important part of the game. So it's like, it's really, for me and for us, it's like when I hear people talking about Wayfarer, it's very important that we amplify that, because there's nothing wrong with not being a part of Wayfarer. It's nothing wrong with just enjoying the game and enjoying the labor, the fruits of labor that everyone else puts in. But when you're actually part of that creation process, it just adds a new layer to the game that helps you enjoy the game in a different way than someone who's just playing the game and not thinking about the back end of the game or the map or the game board. You know, there's definitely circles I've been in where I use the language game board. I talk about it, and they're like, game board? What do you mean? Like, what we're not playing board games here. It's like, no, dude, the earth, the world is our game board. So yeah, having that kind of perspective of thinking about it like that is always really strong. C. Fran and Stacy P are in the chat here. They're married. She said Wayfarer is a part of our wedding day. She nominated a stop at her wedding venue, and if I'm not mistaken, Stacy, I think it got approved the day of her first look. So like the day they went and did their first look, the stop appeared,
like,
or the
this
gym
is
appeared.
The spot.
It's awesome. It's like
this is the spot. Where do we sign? Just tell me.
Yeah,
I know.
right?
Like, that is the coolest thing. And yeah, if you haven't listened to the Wayspotters podcast, or if you haven't messed with Wayfarer at all, we can't encourage you enough.
Or if you haven't messed with Jamal or Glaw, you know, just go for it.
Yeah, no, it's and Ashlee has been on the Wayspotters podcast, which is very cool, because, you know, we firmly believe in that. But how's this journey been for you? There's you know, when you think about getting into content, there could be a million and one roadblocks, right? You know, I don't have the gear, I don't have the time, I don't have the confidence, I don't, you know, this is a male dominated field. You know, there's all these roadblocks that can kind of, you know, present challenges to getting out there and putting yourself out there. What was it like kind of this process of breaking into the space and laying it all out? Because my TikTok feed is filled with you. Like, you are pumping the content out. I'm like, yo, this is awesome. There's like so much content happening here. What's that been for you, kind of going from consuming content and what content are you consuming to then creating yourself? Because that transition, it takes nerves of steel. So what was that like for you?
Yeah, so I kind of just started doing it more. So like kind of like it's interesting that she said the girl in the comment said that she submitted at her wedding venue, because for the last few years before I started doing what I'm doing now, I was working weddings. So I was always going to venues, and for me that was gold. Because how often are you going to go in a place you can nominate stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
And you have to go there, and you can go in the areas people can't go in because you're working. So I was like, this is gold. This is cool. I'm nominating gazebos. I'm filming for work. I'm doing my thing. But it's definitely been fun. I definitely encourage people who like want to make content, but like they're like you said, like, oh, I don't have the right cameras or the right gear. Like, a big part of it is just you. Like, you could have a bad camera, you could have, poor lighting, go outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
a lot of it's the personality and like what you bring and the energy you bring to like the game. Like, there's so many people of all walks of life that play this game. You never know, like, you're gonna resonate or hit right with the right person. And just like, you can't really have that like in the back of your head, like, I have to hit this amount of views, or like, you can't just like be like motivated by the result. Just start doing it. So I started like actually like 40 days ago. I started on Instagram, 40 days of posting straight just to get myself, because I was doing it before, and that's probably why you've been seeing more, because I was doing it before but not like on a regular basis. And I just started doing like in my free time, I don't watch that much TV. I watch educational YouTube videos. So on social media, I work in social media, so I'm always watching like videos on, this is Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and YouTube. So I just kind of surround myself with that motivation. And then, I have a Pocket Osmo camera. You probably see a lot of YouTubers that, everybody watches. That's what they have. So it's less awkward to film in public. Most people, that's their hardest breakthrough. It's just like, people are watching me. It's like, you're just documenting your life. You know how many people are taking a picture? Like, you don't know what they're doing.
I think food culture that has really helped with that too, because now it's like, I'm guilty of that too. I go out to eat anytime, like, up, the camera eats first.
Yeah.
Click.
Watch me eat this one giant piece of pizza.
No, it's I don't know what the source of this quote is, but I heard this phenomenal quote, and it said, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. And it's like, that's like when that kind of resonated with me, and that helps people kind of understand, like, look, I don't recommend this for anyone who's in the podcast space, but I went back and listened to like episode 1. It's rough. It is like, rudimentary, and the audio is horrible. And it's like the hardest part is just putting it out there. And then once you get past that, it's like you said, you can't be focused on the numbers. You can't be focused on the result. The joy is the process for a lot of people, especially when you're getting going, because, we've been streaming now for 3 years straight every week. And, it's like,
sure, we're trying to stay consistent, but it's like, what's harder is it staying consistent or is it growing?
Yeah.
And I don't know if like, our numbers, I don't know if we're like growing, but we are so consistent. We're staying consistent. We're trying to do something every single week.
Yeah. That's half the battle, really, is just being present, showing up. That's another thing you hear a lot. Like, the challenge is just showing up, and the people that show up are going to be the ones that end up winning, because they're there. The other people are not there. They're not showing up. They don't even have a chance.
Yeah.
Gary V shared a recent post that was like a whole line of people walking through one door and no one walking through the other door, and the one that everybody's walking through was thinking about doing it And the other door no one's going through, it says actually doing it. It's like, just do it. Do the thing.
I saw that. That was a good one. Like, Gary Vee is one of the people I watch, and Dan and Brock Johnson. I started doing he's got the Insta Club Hub thing, and all of them. It's exactly that. It's like seeing that, but like, you have to like manifest it. Like, you have to just do it. Because like they always say, like, oh, if you wait till you're ready, you're never gonna start, because starting is not. It's not a feeling. It's a choice. Like, so, just start.
I
like,
love
really
I love dumb quotes.
Personally,
go ahead,
it's
Adam.
it's very hard for me to like just post. I don't know. I had it. We were on a streak. I was doing my TCG things, and then I just stopped. And it's like, I feel like a weight was lifted when I stopped, because it was like I didn't feel pressure to have to post. But like, the reason I was posting is because I enjoyed it, and then it became something that I was just doing because I had to, and I didn't really think about the impact of like people that enjoyed it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I just got to find my joy again, and I don't know how to find that. Like, well, I don't.
The other quote I heard was, "Don't let perfection be the enemy of progress," because it's like,
that's what it is. So Ken would text me and be like, "I heard this isn't right," and I'd be like, "Ah." So I think that's what it was. That's not saying Ken is the reason I stopped, but it was like, I had to make it better than it was, and I was like, I just want to post something.
So we could talk about Gary Vee for a second, because Adam and I are both big Gary Vee fans. I grew up about
to VaynerMedia.
Yeah, I grew up about 15 minutes from the wine library, the first wine library that he opened up for his parents. I was right down the street from where I was at. And I've always been a fan of Gary Vee, and I don't know, I would always share his stories and share his content and all that stuff. And one day I wake up to DMs from Gary Vee, and he's like, "Yo, I love what you're doing. Come to the office." And it was just like, what?
Oh, wow.
And so it was like, Adam and I took a day off of work. We went to New York City, went to VaynerMedia. It was, it was a game changer for us.
And it was one of those, in that conversation was like, "Oh, well, what are you guys doing on Whatnot? Like, what are, like, because we were talking about the VFriends card thing. It was before the Topps Chrome launched. And it was like, well, I'd like to start."
Yeah.
And I don't think that sat well, because it's like here we are, we're podcasting all the time, but like, I don't know, I didn't realize that, like,
well, they also wanted us to spend like 10 G's on inventory. We're like, yeah, bro,
Yeah.
we're podcasters, man. We ain't got it like that.
Yeah.
At the same token, I went, like, on my bus ride home, the whole time I was just like, I've got to do something. I've got to actually put this into motion. And so then I've been starting, I started Whatnot like shortly thereafter, and I've been consistent doing it every single Tuesday after that. And it's just like, I've grown. I've seen growth. I have people that come back to most shows. Like, it's cool, but it's like, it's a lot of work, but I'm doing it, because I just did it. And every time I'm like, I really don't know if I should even like do a show. I just schedule it, and then it forces me to
hold yourself accountable.
Exactly.
And I think it's important too to like while you're on that topic to kind of talk about like you gotta like take care of yourself too, because if you push yourself to the point where you're just doing it to do it, then you're not gonna be like authentic. You're like, oh, I'm just here, I gotta get this done. Like, so when you give yourself that time, if you need a break, to take the break. Obviously, like, the algorithm likes when you're consistent. It doesn't like when you're not. But at the same time, if you're showing up and you're just trying to put something together quick, like, people can tell sometimes it's just somebody threw together
100%.
some
They'll see through it immediately. Like, it's like,
and the best part is that even though you like set a show, like I can set it for 10 a.m. and if for some reason I can't do it at 10, I can adjust the time, and I can just keep adjusting the time and make it go further. And I released so much stress that day, because it was the day that my fiance had her foot surgery, and it was like, I said, time was X. I didn't know when the surgery would be over and everything, but I knew that I still wanted to at least stream, or at least try to. So every hiccup that happened, I was just like, I put in the show notes, I just said, keep in mind that the show could go different times, pay attention, and I just kept bumping the time up, and it was no stress on me. And then when I launched, people were in there. People were excited that I set up. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. So it was good. Like, at least, yes, I'm doing it, but I know that I can do it on my terms.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think with short form content specifically, and Ashlee, this is where I want to pick your brain a bit. It gives you a little bit more of a flexibility to cover a more diverse like gamut of topics, because you can, when you do a podcast, it's like, we might record for an hour or something like that, and the content kind of flows through from topic to topic, but it's still one continuous thing. Where with short form content, if you're recording a 120-second or 180-second video, it's like, I got a message I need to tell right now, and in 2 or 3 minutes it's going to be done, and then I could tell another story. So what is that like for you, choosing to do the short form stuff? The bulk of, like, when Pokemon Go first came out, it was so incredibly YouTube heavy, where everybody was on YouTube. You had the big tubers back in the day. I mean, some of them are still in the game, but like, Mystic Sevens and Reversal and even Trainer Club, that came in late. But there's all these other creators that were just pumping out like daily 10 to 20 minute long YouTube videos, and everything lived on YouTube. The TCG, the anime, the main series, that was kind of on social. That was kind of on Instagram and things like that. But for whatever reason, Pokemon Go really connected with YouTube. So when it came to people,
it's probably the most I've ever watched YouTube.
Was Pokemon Go videos?
Was Pokemon Go videos, yeah.
Dude, I used to watch
like every single trainer
tips. Yeah, that was part of my routine every day. That was like a daily routine of, hearing that Cubby theme song. You know what I mean? Like that was the bee's knees back in the day.
Yeah,
that was the best.
Was huge. Well, I watched everybody, but it was just like, it's just seeing everybody. It was like you felt like you were best friends with everyone, and then it's like, then we have them on the podcast, and it's like you just grow relationships and stuff, and it's like, I don't know. It's just, I love this game, and there's so many passionate people, and we just want to bring them all together.
See, Fran in the chat said Prodigy's Nation. That's right.
Prodigy's Nation.
B Cooch in the chat says DX1. See, it's like all these crazy things. Yo, DX1. So here's some great DX1 story. Let me go off on a tangent. So we were just talking about this hot dog joint in Chicago, right? Because I don't know, for whatever, we do a weekly patron Zoom call. We've been doing it for 8 years. So we talk about, Pokemon Go the whole time. But for whatever reason, hot dogs come up every week. Like, it's just, whatever town they're in. So they talked about this hot dog place, and they showed this picture of this place in Chicago. And I was like, Adam, that's where we hooked up with Brandon Tan and DX1. Adam and I got off the plane. We had our suitcases. We were like on the way to our Airbnb, but then we ran into everybody. And then before we know it, we're just walking around Chicago, like with our suitcases, like still like rolling them around. Like, I guess we ain't going to the Airbnb yet. We're just going to play. But then we hooked up with DX1. DX1 is such a cool cat. And, fast forward to Go Fest 23 or 24, we run into DX1 again. Hadn't seen him in years. He ended up hanging with us the entire night, went to the Airbnb with the Lured Up community, stayed the night at the Airbnb. And it's just like, what is this world? Like, this is the craziest thing. And Prodigy's Nation, another one, like the circle lock trick. I still call that, the circle lock when you're catching a raid Pokemon. I still call that the Prodigy's Nation. That was like, he was like the OG coming up with that trick. But anyway, the short form thing is a hyper competitive space, whereas the long form YouTube stuff, there were some big heavy hitters, and there was like no middle ground. You had people with, very, very few subs, very, very few videos. And then you had these giant monster people with, every video they put up 20, 30, 40K or plus. And now you have short form with, the kind of the emergence of TikTok that has changed everything. So what was it about short form that kind of, what pushed you to short form more than saying like, hey, I'm going to become a YouTuber? It's like, that used to be a thing. Like, even like when we all three of us have kids, but like when we have kids, it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's like firefighter, an astronaut, a YouTuber, it's like a thing. So it's like, but you don't necessarily say like, I want to be an Instagrammer, but like, that's so relevant now. So what was it about the short form that kind of, brought you to that?
So I think for me, like, I did kind of start out like having not niche down. Like I was posting like kind of a little bit of everything, and then when I got really into the, you know, Pogo and Wayfarer stuff, I was posting longer videos on YouTube. But the thing is, reels and like short form content, they're kind of like a gateway. It's kind of like you start watching the short form and you're like, huh, I wonder where they were talking about more of that. And I find a lot of times you usually find somebody you like on Instagram, and then maybe you see them on TikTok and you start to remember, oh, I remember that person. But I really like that, like you said, you can kind of get something out quick, and it really is about how you deliver that information. Like if your hook is really good, and then at the end there's a reason for them to keep watching, and you got to make sure that it's like, I just try to give something, like you said. Social media is not so social anymore. It's more educational and connecting, and kind of like shared interest and hobby. Like they call it like interest media now. That's what they say. It's like interest media.
You definitely like Gary V. You definitely
Yeah,
like Gary V.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but it's so true. And like, I like the short format because I feel like I have a note in my phone. I'm driving or I'm doing whatever, and I think of an idea and I put it in my notes, and then I can go back, and now I can deliver that very quickly. Like right when the idea is fresh, when something is just announced. Like,
Notepad in the shower, Ken.
yeah.
I know. What I do in the shower is I send videos to JT Valor. When I'm watching his videos, I make jokes because that's the only time I get to watch YouTube. I'm like, hey man, I'm watching one of your videos right now. He's just like, another shower video? Stop. But no, that's a great launch point, because I think that I have a thought in my head. Let me hit record and spit this out really quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's freaking content. You know what I mean? Like that's it. And it's hard to get into that rhythm, and it's hard to like do that because it seems unnatural. But once you make that part of your process, and it's like, nope, I'm doing this not just to be creative, but this is a documentation of my thought process. And that's that's what I really like about short form, is kind of, you know, it's that ability to just like spitball and get little bits of information. And like you said, interest media, educational stuff. Like, yeah, I want to learn. I don't just want to consume, right? I always think of like WALL-E, the Disney movie WALL-E, like, you know what I mean? Just like, you know, sitting back, just consuming. It's like, no, I feel when I'm watching short form, even if I'm in a doom scroll state, that I'm still more engaged with the content, because it's kind of, it's like, is that person talking to me? It seems like they're talking right to me. It's like,
why did they wink at me?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but so I definitely feel that, and I think that's cool. Now, for something like Wayfarer, and I definitely want to dig into Wayfarer, Pokemon Go is niche enough, right? You know, Pokemon Go is already,
you're not just creating; you're helping create the game board.
It's like so meta, because it's like taking a niche thing and then going even further down the niche rabbit hole. And what was the first thing you ever nominated? Like what kind of, you know, did it go through? Like, did you have like 100%, you know, a lot of people would be like, I nominated one thing, it went through, I'm done. I'm the greatest Wayfinder of all time. I have 100% nomination approval rating.
They get their
I'm
gold
done.
star.
Exactly. So what was the first thing you ever did?
So I did a tennis court. It was like a tennis court sign, and I remember being so excited. Actually, that was the second one. The first one I did was the golf course sign. And I remember a couple years ago I went back and I took a picture with it, and I was like, time has passed. And I think when I hit 500 nominations accepted, I went back to the first one I ever had as a little homage to like visit it. And I remember it was like the golf course sign, and it was I mean, almost a guarantee accepted. You know, you're gonna exercise there and socialize. But I mean, I've had my fair share of you know, things that have gotten denied over the years. You know, the rules have changed, or, you know, however.
But seeing that email that says, hey, this has been accepted.
Yeah.
I know.
But then people get discouraged because they get one denial and they're like, I hate Wayfarer.
Yeah.
I never get my stuff accepted. But and we all have it. I've had that happen. It is discouraging. You know, I do get why people will feel that way. But at the same time, we have had so many facets of Wayfarer change over time, and maybe they're not reading what's eligible, and that's what I try to do is help them. Like, I'm like, let me give you the seeds, and then maybe your thing didn't go, but now like you guys were saying, I'm the same way. I got those binoculars on, so once you kind of have those binoculars and you know
the meta glasses.
no, but like what you know is eligible. you start to see it more, and then that might like encourage you, like you're saying, you get the email, and then that kind of ricochets into I gotta
Mm-hmm.
nominate more. I like this feeling.
And, well,
What other game can you
yeah, be a part of.
change
Yeah,
it?
you're actually like, it's like, am I a developer? I'm a
Yeah, right.
superhuman. It's like, but the fact of Wayfarer, you know, I love the Wayfarer team. We've known them for years and years and years. They're all great, but they do a horrible job of explaining what's eligible, and the criteria has been, up and down and left and right and back and forth all the time. So educational content, and we've seen
Is
this with
that a
the
live
success,
animal?
right?
No.
With the success of Wayspotters, it's like people are hungry for this information because you
Yeah.
can't get it easily, and you could go to the criteria page and you could read it, and it's like, I still don't know if flagpoles are eligible, or I still don't know if this pool is eligible. Or it's like, I remember at one time they were like, yeah, you can nominate basketball. Remember when the NBA game came out? They're
Yeah.
like, nominate those K through 12 basketball courts. It's
Yeah.
all good. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, by the way, those pools, those basketball courts, out. They're done.
No bueno.
It's very hard to figure out the stuff. So having content, especially short form, it's like, it's just a reminder of saying like, oh yeah, I can do that. And then you
Mhm.
remember like, oh, there was a mural at that restaurant I was at. Next time I go, I'm gonna do something about that. And
Yeah.
it's a nice circle of education, because it you know a 5-year-old can pick up a phone and play Pokemon Go and they get it. I've seen cats throwing balls, catching Pokemon.
My cat literally saw the ball and then was just like, it like threw it, didn't catch it, but it definitely threw it.
You could have just lied and said it was an excellent throw.
What? I don't need to do that.
I would have. My cat catches legendaries, bro.
Then I'm dishonest. and I
Does,
don't want to.
does
During the
catch-
anniversary event.
Yeah, catches everything. But no, the short form Wayfarer content is great because it helps clarify some of that stuff that, like, it could be buried in the criteria, it could be buried in the WDD. Like, it's just
Mhm.
it's not hard to or it's too hard to find. So having short form Wayfarer content is really nice, because it reminds us that, like, yeah, this is a big scale, it's a big process, it's a big thing, but it's really just a series of small processes that once you understand, and you could rinse repeat before you know it, it's
Mhm.
like, you could get multiple nominations a week, and then it's like, I am making a huge impact. The best is like when you find like a blank park or something like
Yeah.
that, and it's like, there's a playground over there, there's a field house over there, there's a scoreboard over here, there's a mural over here, there's a whatever it is, tennis court, basketball court, baseball field. It's like, oh man, if I ran into a park and it was just like 4 empty baseball fields, I was like, I feel it. I feel it in my jellies right now, how good this is. And yeah, that's a good feeling. And it really only takes one person with a go-getter attitude to like
Mhm.
completely transform a town. And we just had our Red Bank was, we built up our Red Bank town over years, and it was completely built out. There was one blank S2 cell in the entire downtown, and that was only because there was literally nothing, parking lot stuff. There was nothing we could put there. And we just had our campsite dropped in from the campfire team. And now, it's if you're driving through town and just kind of like weaving through the streets, you could probably maybe 100 stops in 20 minutes. It's wild. It's wild just how dense it is. Stacy P in the chat says, I'm a developer. See, you're developing the game. That's what I mean. You're part of the process.
Yeah.
Part
That's
of the
so
problem?
cool.
Oh
It-
no.
it-
no, just-
Yeah, when you're putting flagpoles with no memorial attached to
No
it.
meaning. Yeah.
Putting emergency services. I remember Adam, when back in the day, sent like the wrong Wayfinder a gift from like a fire station. It goes back the next week. He's like, why isn't this stop here anymore? It's like,
Oh my
bro,
God.
you sent that stop
did-
directly
it
to the
did- it
Wayfarer
did.
police. You sent it right to the cops. It was gone before you knew it. It's
That's
so
funny.
funny.
You don't know
So
what you
funny.
got till it's gone.
So
I really like what you're saying about the blank slate, because I have two completely different sides when it comes to Wayfarer. It's I go and I look for blank slates, or I look, like you're saying, for I went somewhere this morning and there was a gym and a stop and there was like 3 things and I was like, what the heck? no, how did they miss this?
Yeah.
But then I like to go do projects. Like I like a little challenge. So I try to like clean up areas, you know. I've been recently working on like the airport near me. So I parked and went in that airport to nominate. Like you said, you went to the restaurant to try to see the mural.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
literally go out of my way to do these weird things like Six Flags. Yeah, I'm not going on the rides. Like I'm literally explicitly going to update pictures.
Love it.
Okay.
And like the
All right.
airport, I think I have 7 new stops this week. And so I'm kind of cleaning it up
Amazing.
and getting rid of the stuff that's not there. It's just fun and it's rewarding. Like everyone that goes in that airport or this attraction, I get gifts from people and I'm like, that's my
That's
stuff.
mine.
Like, that's
Yeah,
the best.
that's
Oh,
the
that is
best. That's
cool.
super cool.
That
I
is
know.
cool.
I know. You go into the photos, click on it, like, that's my name. I'm in the game.
Yeah.
I'm in the game.
Yep.
That's so great. That's so great. No, I agree with you 100% there. Now, I got to ask, I know plenty of Wayfarers who are not strict, are not by the books. Jamal and Chris are a great juxtaposition off each other from Wayspotters because Jamal's like, hey, what's a few meters between friends? And then Chris is like, nah, man, that's here and not there. Like, don't mess with the game board. The integrity is paramount. Where do you stand with the volatility of accuracy and things like that? I mean, you said you were updating photos and stuff like that. So typically when you're on the update photos thing, it's like, no, I want this to be, IRL to digital, 1-to-1 perfect. How do you stand when it comes to like some of those loose gray area rules in Wayfarer with location or working the seams of S2 cells? Like, where are you at with all that?
So like, I think it's definitely grayscale because there's so many facets to it, and like, it's really that's why people are so scared to submit because they don't want to do the wrong thing, and they see all the scare, stuff where people are like, you're gonna get banned for abuse. But I do like nominating things. Like I'll use the S2 strategically, but I'm not going out of my way to submit things way far away. I think if I'm looking at it and it's there, and I can spin it from where I'm looking at it, like I think that's okay. When you're looking at the game, like any normal player can't really see the S2 cells. So like if you're standing at the object and you can see it, you might not like some of them that were synced or whatever, they're off. Like I've seen them, but I think that's where people get confused now. Now, power spots in neighborhoods. Okay, that's in the game. Why can't I submit? So it's definitely grayscale. I do my best to update to accuracy. Like I don't go out of my way to waste nominations on things that are gonna double up, but
Yeah.
I don't like abuse my nominations. I don't want to use one if for the game I actually play, if it's maybe not gonna go. But that's the wonderful thing. I used to submit everything and people were like, you're crazy for that. Why are you wasting your nominations? It won't show up. Ingress is the thing. I don't really dabble in Ingress too much, but at the time I was like, well, yeah, they're like the people who play Ingress, they'll get to use it. And then power spots came out, and I kind of had a little ego boost because I was like, all those things in town, go look, they're all power spots now, even though you said not to submit it.
Yeah, they
So
play by a different set of rules. Those
And
power
then you're
spots.
the hero.
Yeah,
of that story.
I really enjoyed and I wanted to like be the one. People kept telling me there's nothing else. Your town is full, like the town I live in. They're like, you can't submit anything else. I've made so many gyms since then and so many stops since then. It's kind of fun to challenge. And then people being like, oh my God, I didn't know that existed. So I try to do it. I try to submit everything. You never know how this game is going to keep developing,
Well, that's like Jamal's specialty. He'll set up Zoom calls with fans and be like, let's hop in the Google car and let's drive around your neighborhood. And he'll literally build out a map and be like, kind of looks like, there's a mural here. Or this looks like a memorial here. Like, check out these spots. And then we get feedback coming back that it's like, yeah, I was able to nominate 5 things in my neighborhood that like, one, I either didn't know existed, or 2, I didn't think would be eligible. And it's like, when you have that kind of framing around it, it's like, yeah, this is like a game within a game. And I've seen plenty of Wayfinders get super discouraged when they get something approved and then it doesn't show up in Pokemon Go, not realizing like, yeah, this is about the map, and the map itself is, there's plenty of Wayfinders out there that's their baby, right? They care about the map. It's not just about Pokemon Go. It's not just about the game or Monster Hunter or anything like that. It's about this map, and they believed in Niantic's original vision of like building this 1-to-1 representation. And I think we're still at the tip of the iceberg with what we can do with those IRL settings. Like, wait till from, the what was birthed in the AR scanning, which a lot of people were like, I'm not doing this free labor, I'm not doing this and that. And it's like, yeah, but ultimately the Niantic's VPS, when you learn about the VPS, it's like, well, what if we were to say, okay, you're going to go tour at the Rose Bowl, for an example, and they AR scan the entire place. So now the entire Rose Bowl potentially could be a live AR instance where there can be persistent AR assets. I drop something here, you walk by, you see it. And it's like all that kind of stuff. Like, you ever wake up in the morning, open up the game, your daily spawn pops up at your house, you forget to catch it, you go to work, you come back and it's still there. It's like, oh, hey, buddy, I left you here all day. That's a persistent anchored AR asset. You know, that thing is living there at that GPS coordinate. Whether you turn your game off, move away from it, it lives there until the next day because it runs on the day scale. So I think that there's incredible potential down the road for what can come of this, and it's very interesting to see with Niantic Spatial spinning off how this will happen, how this could work if the spatial rules and, you know, the whole Scaniverse thing makes its way back to Scopely and can integrate with Pokemon Go. Because that was like when we, Adam, I don't know if you remember the first call we had with Scopely after the acquisition, and it was like, what about AR? Like, are you guys still an AR company? Because Niantic Spatial is out here already doing all this Scaniverse stuff and Eighth Wall stuff. And here, you know, and Scopely is just back to Pokemon Go. And it was like, oh, well, it's not really a priority now. It's, you know, it still exists. You know? Yeah. And it's like, then you see like Niantic Spatial doing all this Scaniverse stuff, all this cool stuff. And it's like, wait, I want that. I want that stuff. So
yeah, this is not what we have. It's like those things that you know, whatever, the short form social media where it's like, we want this, or we have this at home, but it's like the thing we have at home, and it's like a knockoff version.
Yeah, the Temu Wayfarer. But no, it's like, no, I totally get all that, and I really appreciate people that care about the integrity of the map. You know, back in the day, there was this social campaign from Ingress players, Ingress fans. It was just like #clean Ingress, because you had all these people just nominating all this crap, all this coal, and it would just get pushed through. And then it's like, dude, this is not a thing. Like, there's nothing here. And it's just like, it was everywhere. So then you had all of these cleaners that would come in and reinstate the integrity of the map by, you know, reporting and getting rid of all the crap that no one wants. And it's like, yeah, now this is more of an accurate representation. I love being able to like look at the map, see a Pokestop in the distance, it's got a halo on it, click on it, it's a mural. It's like, yo, let's go to that mural. Let's go check it out, and use like the game and the phone as like a GPS almost. Like that's my navigation. Like that's what's going to guide me to the next place. So I definitely always really appreciate that. C-Fran in the chat says, we got affected bad by that, lost a ton of legitimate POIs. I'm telling you, it's like, if you have a salty Ingress player, they hated Pokemon Go players in the beginning. They're like, how dare you come onto our game board and start moving stuff? It's like, it can be a little tough. Adam caught the good side with the Moose. He found a happy Ingress player. I was like, sure, I'll help you.
But it is cool to see, like, you know, if you go to a new area too, like the exploration about it is like, you know, someone like yourself is flushing out the game board. If I've never been to your area in Connecticut, and you know, I'm start walking around, like I hit all the stops, and it's like I can see my path back. I can see where I started.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I love that. That's great. That's good stuff.
I think it's so cool that you kind of get like I in particular will notice who nominates in certain areas. So like I travel up to Boston and I'm looking at the stops. I'm trying to see which name keeps popping up the most. And I like connecting with these people, and I found a lot of people that they aren't huge on social media, but they are low key doing a lot of Wayfarer, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I have to know who this person is." But I had a kind of like a rule of thumb that if I'm going to remove something, like I want to know that there's something there. Like, you know, like there's vicious people like just removing.
Yeah.
If it was in the game and they put it in the game and like the power spots and it's in the game, I didn't put it in the game. Like, it's there. But I try to, if I can find something else that's going to go there, like I want to still make the game great for people. But I also think that like what you're saying, it's going to keep being evergreen because we have campsites now. We have these artificial, kind of
Yeah.
stops, as well as like in rural areas and stuff. But I like the fact that people can be creative with it. That's the part that I'm a little like, it's grayscale for me because, well, yes, I tried to give the most accurate information. I do think that if there's something that's not necessarily like you don't have a footbridge, maybe it doesn't have a name. Like I think it's cool that like people will write like Jamal does, like sometimes his funny stuff. Like you're making it
Mm-hmm.
personal. I think that's cool.
Jamal's descriptions are the best.
They're
They're
awesome though. They make
absolutely.
you laugh. They bring you joy.
There
You
was
know?
one that was like a pirate ship or like playground, and he like wrote like
Mhm.
this cute narrative for it, and I was like, dude, this is like it adds so much more flavor to the
Yeah.
game. It makes it so much more exciting because there's something to read, and you kind of get
Mhm.
like the lore of the area. When you click into the Pokestop
Yeah.
and see the full description, it's super
Hmm.
cool. But you said making the game better for other people, and I think that's a huge thing and a huge motivator for a lot of wayfinders. But there's definitely a lot of challenges that the game has, specifically with Wayfarer, but also the game proper. I mean, there's tons of bugs, performance issues, even the monetization style with the transition to go passes and things like that. With the current state of the game, how do you feel about the game's actual health right now?
Hmm.
Because I don't know if you ever dabble in PvP, but I mean, obviously that's something that's been, not functioning at a high level for many years now. You've got, Wayfarer that, you know, people getting false flags. It is my favorite. I'll go on a little tangent here when people are like, I did nothing wrong. Why did I get banned? And then Niantic Aaron in the chat's like, actually, and pulls out like a 300-mile long CVS receipt of bad things they've done. But what's your take on the current state of the game, and how does that impact your motivation, not just to create content, but to play? Because the game does have performance issues. Like, how does that
Yeah.
impact you personally?
Yeah, so like quality of life, I've got a note in my phone of quality of life features that I would love to see one day.
Ooh, do
Um,
tell. You're gonna have to tell us.
yeah, everything like I want to be able to go on my friends list and not have to like exit the gift to look at their profile or interact. Like I want to be able to turn that off or like I
Yep.
want to see the actual last date this person played so I can
Oh,
know whether they're active.
yes.
Um, they did do the remote trade. That was on my list. Just like a lot of stuff. I want to be like my biggest thing when I'm using an item, like my incense, and I want to go do my daily. Oh no, I didn't know, but my incense is now 2 hours. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna have time to run my 15-minute deal. When you can pause spatial rend and go to roar of time, and it's like relinquish your item, you will no longer be able to use it. Yes, I want to do that with incense. I want to be
Yeah.
able to stop my Meltan box, my Gimmighoul box. Like those are like
Yeah, that would be
That's
it's
actually a
so
really
frustrating.
that's actually a really good one, because I got caught out there. I was in a party and
Hmm.
someone shared a bunch of incense, and I was like, "Oh, I was about to use my daily," and it's like, now I can't. Now I gotta
Yeah.
ride it out. So yeah, that would
Hmm.
be that would be a good one for sure.
That's
Um,
a big one. There's a lot of like I said, I have a whole list of just little things, but like the game,
what's
like
the one you want the most?
oh my God, what's the one I want the most? I don't know. Like I just think I want a lot of them. Like I guess maybe the item one. That's the most on a daily occurrence frustrating one. Is that I don't know if they fixed it or not. But when you would go from mine's more of a Wayfair side. When you went to go uh do a nomination and then you left to go to the camera app and then the app would close in the middle of your
yes, yeah.
nomination.
Hmm.
Did they? I don't know if they've.
Yeah, I
Is
know
that
exactly what
still?
you're talking about though, and it's like, now I gotta start all the way over. I did not put this on my clipboard. It's like, great,
Yeah.
great.
Um, and then like I guess one that's not it's not so much of a quality of life, but something they could expand on is the showcases. I just feel like there's so much more you could do with these showcases, like leaderboards in your area, or like I don't know. Let me see somebody's oldest Pokemon. Like something that like you have to really try, not just like your buddy or like extra extra large. I'm hoarding extra extra large for the potential of a showcase. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Same. I've now dwindled it down to a solid two, like the two best ones.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that there's a gold stamp that says like, "Hey, this is your actual biggest one."
Yeah.
That I like as a feature, but I usually kept three,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
It's a
But,
lot of
why
storage,
am I,
man.
Why,
It's like,
and
I
why am I
get you.
keeping extra smalls? If I can't ever use them in a competition or whatever, it doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
that we have the extra smalls. Like, either
Right.
give me contests for that, or tell me that I can just get rid of them.
The day you transfer them is the day they're going to be like, you know what, everybody, we're going to do extra
Yeah.
small contest now.
I'm paranoid. The last thing that I kind of think would be interesting, that's something that's kind of on my list, is like on your profile. And I feel like there are PvP players, there are people who do a lot of rockets, who do a lot of gyms. I think that having medals you can show off, like kind of like TCG, you go to the profile,
Yes,
you can
yes.
see the stuff. I want to be able to put one of my medals up there and
Yep.
show off that what it's inside your game, and that's cool. But if you're not online, you're not on Twitter, you're not doing all this stuff, showing it off. I mean, yeah, it's cool, it's fulfilling, but like, I want to be able to like showcase that. So that's something I think would be cool.
Yeah, physical representation on the profile screen would be really cool. I remember when
Mhm.
like the world champion got the pose, it was like, all right, well now we're talking because that's super unique. And I
Mhm.
remember even having a conversation with the Wayfarer team, and they were like, what can we do to promote Wayfarer and make it worth it? I go, you have to have something exclusive to distinguish.
Yeah.
Give me a title, like if they use titles that you could put on your profile, or like, give me a background or a banner or something that shows
Like a rank or
something that makes it
Yeah.
unique to to let me let people passively flex on
Well,
their gaming style.
This is the thing that frustrates me a little bit, and it kind of sucks. So like, I do love the side of reviewing because I love to see what people are submitting all over the world. I think that's cool. But the only badge is for reviewing, and if you get stuck on a reviewing level and you get stuck on like good or whatever, your badge doesn't even go up in game.
Yeah.
But I this is kind of hard because I would love to see representation for what you've nominated, kind of like ambassadors checking into ambassador meetup. You can see there's a medal, there's fulfilling. I know there's probably reason they don't want people to mass submit random stuff so they can get that badge. That's hard. But it would be cool, like, oh, you're like a platinum member, you've had this many stops accepted. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to see that. That would be
That'd
the
be super
emails
cool
you get.
flex. Yeah.
I would like to see a priority system.
Mm-hmm.
Like as you're saying, but a priority system where it's like, if I submit something, there's somebody that's going to actually look at it
Right away
within 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that would be next level. Just, oh, okay, this person is working really hard. We should take care of that person.
Yeah.
Like higher ranks for like being reputable. Like I've always said the same thing. I think that people who have like a not like, and I don't want to say hierarchy because everybody could start and be good at it. Like that's not necessarily, but somebody who they can tell knows the criteria, has a lot of reviews, has thoroughly looked at it, can have a more like fast tracked into like moving stuff. Or like if I'm telling you back in the day, like I used to have to send 360 video things to get something removed. Like I had to download apps. They were like, download this 360. I'm like,
photos.
I'm not trying to remove it because I hate this game. I'm trying to help you. So,
Nice. No, that's I love talking to people that care about this stuff because it's not common. It's much less common than you think, and it's something that either flies over the heads or under the radar of the masses. So it's like when and that's fine. Like it's fine for people to be like blissfully ignorant about the process. Just enjoy the game, dude. Like whatever, it's all good. But it really has changed the way my personal community acts, behaves, and thinks about this game because we're always looking to develop the board. We're always looking. I mean, in Red Bank, our community ambassador Fusion Joe, he is on a mission to update photos of the entire town of Red Bank. He's like, I'll wait at a place for an hour. I'm waiting for these cars to leave. Like, I will get a good shot. It's like, oh no, we got to go over here because the sun's about to set. I'm going to get a killer photo. And it's like, now I'm looking at all these photo discs in town and I'm like, yo, this is like legit photography here. Like this looks so good. So yeah, it's a different angle. I love it. I love that so much. But as we wind down here, any tinfoil hat theories? Because Adam and I love to talk about like, the reasonings behind things and what things could possibly be. You have any tinfoil hat, goodies or anything you think is a conspiracy theory in this game? Any rules, shakeups, or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have two things that I've always thought. So one of them is that, and I maybe this is like something that's proven and like I never saw it, but like the showcases were put, in my opinion, in the most least active stops in your area. No, I'm serious. The
Yep.
center of my
No.
town that's so bulky, there's not a single showcase. I gotta go near a hiking trail, catch the Pokemon, then and drop a
Yeah,
nearby showcase just to get them in there.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I want to see, like, at the beginning they said showcases will rotate, and in my head I was thinking like physically which ones are a showcase to
Yeah.
showcase so you can explore more. The other like thing is that I have this theory that when you don't play the game for a little bit, it kind of rewards you. You open it back up and
Oh, the
you get like a
shinies.
shiny rare. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that
Yep.
back in the day. Everyone
Yeah.
was wearing that tinfoil hat. They're like, "Yo, if you buy a piece of Avatar clothing, your next catch
Yeah.
is gonna be a shiny. Just watch."
I'm in trouble then.
That's
Oh my
so
God.
funny. Oh, dude, I try to stay away. I was rocking the same outfit for like 4 years. I was just like, I'm good, man. I
Yeah.
spend enough money on this game. The last thing I need to do is spend money on aesthetics. It's like,
Yeah.
ouch.
Right?
How do you feel about the monetization in the game?
Oh yeah.
Is that
Um, the game is free to play. Like anybody can in theory, like this. It's kind of it's not. It kind of sucks to say, but the game is technically free to play. You can go on the game. You can catch. Can you enjoy it as much as the other people who have access to these things because of monetary value?
right?
That's where it's. You're a hardcore player, but you've probably spent a lot of money. You have a lot of XP. You've probably spent a lot of money to do raids and eggs and friendships, but there are people who they don't spend a lot of money into the game and they still grind and they're doing friendship resets and they're making sure they do showcases for free items, which is a valuable asset that they give us. You have the ability to do showcases and get incense and lure modules, and
I've
so
I've never bought a premium lure module, but anytime there's an event, I'm dropping crazy lure modules like
right.
all the time because it showcases it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely something that if you work your angles, like yeah, you could. I mean, JC Picks, we have a good friend from Hawaii. He was fantastic AR photographer, a diehard free to play player. He was one
Hmm.
of the first to hit level 40, one of the first to hit level 50. I mean, the dude's free to play. It's like
Yeah.
I make sure I support him. I'll throw him tickets whenever I can because I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
keep that streak going. I want you out there playing. But yeah, it's I don't mind it. I think that like raid hours or raid events are the best kind of representation.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you can play free to play and you can play 5 raids, or you can
Right.
buy the ticket and you can play 13. It's like there's nothing that's gonna help you win by
Hmm.
spending more money. You're paying for convenience and you're paying for access. That's really
And
what it is.
kind of exclusivity too. And
Yep.
that, I mean, that's like an issue that I see that they try to target because they bring back these classic calm days and things, but there are things that will never come back. Like the gimme goal with the anniversary background, you're probably never going to see that
Right.
again.
Right.
So there's always going to be things that like you have to give the players who have put the time and effort in. Do I think ticket prices have gone up and often? Yeah, I mean, I don't enjoy opening the game and I am going to buy the ticket more than likely, but I also like that the Com Day tickets and things are giftable. I wish you could gift items. I wish you could gift things in there, but I like I like being able to kind of give to people in the community and like do that here and there. It's a lot of fun. I don't know. I think that it's gotten a little bit out of hand with like the frequency because like I want to buy it and now I'm gonna feel left out and that's not a good feeling. And
Dude,
a lot of
FOMO
people,
is for real. FOMO
yeah,
is like that's
Yeah.
like
I
you know,
held back with the electric
Adam
event.
buys stuff just because he just like I feel bad. I want to be part of this.
No,
I want to be a
it'll
cool
be
kid.
like
yeah,
I'm at the end and I know that I've accomplished it all, and I'm like, do I need the Mimikyu costume avatar thing? Like,
yeah.
do I really need that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
No, I didn't need it. So I wear the onesie Delibird outfit. There is no reason for that.
Yeah.
When they give me a reason to get a Iron Bundle onesie, then I will definitely go in there. But they haven't even announced anything for Iron Bundle. Like, come on.
Yeah, Fisher J in the chat says it's becoming easier to play free to play thanks to showcases and go passes. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I love that because reward me
But
for
they
putting
don't
in the
love
effort.
that.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
well, they don't love that, but at least you have screen time. You know what I mean? When you have screen time, you're interacting with sponsored stops. There's other ways that there's benefits for, for the devs and pubs of the world, to interact. They just want you to have some screen time. But Ashlee, this was awesome. We really appreciate you coming on and talking Wayfarer, talking content. I definitely think that being in Connecticut, I mean, this might warrant a nice little road trip. I could be up in Connecticut in 2.5 hours, and we'll throw a dartboard at like rural Connecticut, and then we'll just go nominate the whole town. Yeah, let's do it. I think that would be.
Thank you guys for having me on here.
No, definitely, it was awesome. I obviously links to everywhere you can find Ashlee will be in the description in the YouTube. We're going to be sharing a bunch of links over the next week. Once the VOD and the audio of this comes out, but everyone, make sure you check out Ashlee the Artist.
Hours too. So
yeah, we'll meet in the middle. We'll go now. Hey, look, that's like we got a lot of nominations between the three of us. We can nominate a whole town. But
take a little trip.
But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for checking us out. Just check out luredup.com for everywhere you can connect with the show. Get merch, leave reviews, listen to all the past shows, connect with other shows on the network. You can get all that stuff, including Wayspotters, the Wayfarer podcast. Just check out luredup.com. Ashlee, any final words? Anything you got before we wrap it up?
Tag your remote trades.
Oh my God, tag those. Yes, tag the remote trade too. Nothing worse than going in and it's like, bro, 3 non-shiny starters, bro. Get out of here, deleted.
Nothing at all.
I had that happen to me for the first time. Like, not a single Pokemon tag. It's like, dude, we've been working on friendship for 90 days. Like, how are you not prepared for this? But thank you so much. Keep trading, traders. Thanks again.